How you doing? Welcome back. You know, it's one thing that we're going to do is people always ask me for the asparagus soup at Mirabelle, and you know, it's such a simple soup, and I think the trick is really, you know, using the good vegetable to start with, and also, you know, using a little bit potato to give that little, like almost velouté flavor, you know, velouté consistent, like the starch of the potato. What I do is just take some onion. You know, they say the soup is, the onion is 50% the soup. I mean, you know, onion just got a nice flavor, always almost like little, you know, kind of turn sweet when you roast them, and you want to cook them. I take a touch of butter just to, you know, get everything tied together. And I'm gonna let it cook some of the soup. I mean, you know, onion just got a nice flavor, always almost like little, you know, kind of turn sweet when you roast them, and you want to cook them. I take a touch of butter just to, you know, get everything tied together, and I'm gonna let them cook to get the onion what we call translucent. I mean, they kind of go from white to almost like transparent. I'm gonna add a little bit celery to that mixture. Move these guys away. You don't really need to be very cut. You know, it can be a rough brunoise like this, because we're gonna blend everything together anyway. Using my asparagus, I'm already using the stem. I don't use the bottom part because it's bitter. I use the middle part because I think that's the most tender. I can use the stem as a little decoration in the soup. I think it's almost wasteful to put the tips of the asparagus in the soup, because it's kind of the best of the asparagus, and it can be more showcased as a garnish to really be blended in the soup. The middle part of the asparagus is a trick. Get a couple of leeks. You know, same thing, kind of use the middle part of the leeks. I don't use too much the green part because I think it kind of gives a funny color and the flavor is just not there. I make sure my leeks is clean, because, you know, the last thing you want is to get some dirt in your soup. That don't add any flavor. And I think the trick is really using the whole spatula, you know, the one you use for many years to make the soup. And then you let, you know, everything nice and, you know, blend together a little bit. Okay. A bit more fire. Get my leeks nice and clean. Using like a nice bed of water, and let the dirt go on the bottom of the water. And it's a good way to clean them that way. See, and all my dirt went on the bottom of the bowl. There it is. Again, you know, get everything nice and mixed together. Probably a good time to add a bit of salt in the vegetable. Not too much, because you're going to reduce and you're going to get salty. When you want to, at the end of the soup, you want to add the seasoning, add some salt and pepper when you blend everything together. Now you get the stage when you add a little bit potato. What the potato do is kind of add some little starch to the soup. You know, you get all those good flavor from the vegetable, but the potato is kind of the trick to get that, you know, all tied together. But you got a nice velouté almost consistency without adding cream or too much butter or thing like that to, you know. And there, you know, when my onion is nice and they have a good sweat, like we say, you know, they start to change color, become a little more transparent. That's when I add my water or my vegetable broth. And you kind of want to cover all your vegetable a little bit above, because you're going to reduce. We're going to let that roll, you know, for about, I would say, a good 30 minutes, you know, to make sure everything is nice and cooked and overcooked and tender. There, when it's roll, we're going to use a little blender and blend it, and use it through a chinois cap, and just, you know, get it back in the pot. You know, the soup is nice and cooked all the way through, about 20-30 minutes. You really want to see all the vegetables start to, you know, falling apart, and you know, the onion be nice and translucent like it is now. There I just take my mixer, you know, at home you can very well use a little Vita mixer, like a countertop mixer if you don't have a big one like that. Just mix it. All the flavor together. What I like to do at this time is just make sure my consistent is the what I want, you know, the stick enough. If I need to add a little more vegetable stock, give a first impression on the taste. Add a little more salt and pepper if you need. Always taste your food, that's the most important. So many people cook and forget to taste, and after they come to the table they say, oh, I wish I would add the milk pepper to that. And there, you know, we're going to use the chinois, and we're just going to strain the soup to a container of different soup to remove every little particle to make it nice and smooth. Want to put a question with like another ladle just to make sure you extract all the juice and the flavor from the vegetable. It's a whole set, trash can don't heat, you know, you want to get everything, the mixture there, all the good flavor. Now, I look again at my soup, my final result. I'm gonna move this one. And when your soup is bland, you get, you know, a consistency a little bit like this. You know, it's kind of a, you know, a green soup, a little bit velouté. And I think now that's a good time when you get the little asparagus tips. You can just cut them very thin and kind of use like, kind of almost like a little decoration for your soup, because you gotta have like, you know, you got that soup with a nice flavor and it's cooked all the way, and you got a little vegetable there, kind of give a little crunch and like fresh, you know, al dente flavor to it. And those vegetables really cook just with the heat of the soup, you know, you really don't think anything. What's always nice also is just to be just like a little touch of butter, just like to give that little richness of the butter, you know, unsalted butter at the end like that, to make it nice and rich. Now, again, a really important step is to taste the soup. Oh, yeah. You don't want to over seasoning it, but you want to make sure you got good flavor. And there, you pour in your bowl. And you'll be ready to go. This, I can garnish my plate. A bit plastic holder. There it is, asparagus soup, vegetable base, a little bit potato, onion, leeks. Very simple to do, just great flavor inside. Bon appetit.